I was about to walk down the aisle, about to marry the love of my life. And then my sister showed up, screaming like a banshee. Apparently, I was a filthy bitch who ruined her life. But let's rewind a bit, because this didn't just happen overnight. Hey viewers, welcome to the channel. We're just getting started, and your support means a lot. If you enjoy these stories, please consider subscribing and help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for being here. Now back to the story. It all started at a family barbecue. My sister, usually as radiant as a summer sunrise, announced she was pregnant. Everyone was thrilled. Then the bomb dropped. In front of everyone, she asked if she could have my wedding venue. The one my fiancé and I had waited 3 years for. 3 years. It was our dream. Everyone just stared, expecting me to cave. But I stood my ground. As much as I love you, I told her, it's not happening. It felt like a punch to the gut. My sister's tears were a thunderstorm washing away any calm I'd tried to hold on to. She stormed off, a whirlwind of hurt feelings and entitlement. My grandmother, bless her heart, immediately told me I was being selfish, that my sister needed the venue more than I did. I tried to explain. My mom chimed in, her voice sharp, like shattered glass. You waited 3 years, she said. Would it have killed you to wait a few more months? When has your sister ever asked you for anything? My fiancé, usually a calm sea, turned into a raging tempest. He was furious. We left before he unleashed the kraken on my family. Later that night, my sister called sobbing. It was unfair that I always got what I wanted, that I couldn't do this one thing for her. My brother-in-law, bless his soul, called next. He apologized for the inconvenience. He'd had words with my sister. She'd promised she wouldn't ask. Now he warned me she was blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage. As if she hadn't lit the fuse herself. My dad started texting. A barrage of guilt trips. I hope you're happy. Your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday. Each message a tiny dagger. My fiancé and I made a decision. My sister was out of the bridal party. Replaced by my aunt, the only family member who took my side. We hadn't decided if we'd even invite the rest of them. Then, my mom took it to a whole new level. She called my fiancé's parents. Told them it would be best if my sister got the venue because she was pregnant. My future father-in-law, a man of few words and even fewer filter, told her to F off. He ripped her a new one for expecting something so ridiculous. He made it clear they were going to lose me if they kept playing favorites. Now my mom was crying too, calling my father-in-law names. It was pathetic. Straight out of a daytime soap opera. My in-laws were driving over with food and wine. They told me not to worry, that no matter what, they'd be my safety net. I hated how they expected me to just give in. Update 1. The venue vendetta continues. The next day, the texts kept coming. My sister kept berating me about the venue. How I was being unfair. How she was family. How she asked nicely because she loved me. A novel-length guilt trip about family and loyalty. My response. Short and sweet. I'm sorry you perceived it that way. I was done. Sick and tired of bending to her will. My whole life, I'd been her servant, her doormat. Remember all the birthdays I had to share with her because she'd throw a tantrum if she didn't get presents? Or when she cried so I'd fill out her job applications because she was too lazy to write her own CV. And Mom always supported her. But the graduation stunt, that still stung. She couldn't stand that I was getting all the attention. So she wore the most expensive dress our parents could buy. Made a cake for herself. Hung up balloons. Insisted on being in every picture. I am done. I admitted I'd spoiled her. But no more. If she wanted to get married so badly before the baby was born, she could find another venue. I'd spent too much time planning my wedding to hand it over. If she wanted to ruin our relationship over this, fine. I'd sleep soundly knowing it wasn't my fault. Her response, wow, you must love me so very much. Then she blocked me. She unblocked me this morning to send me this. A message from my wedding planner. Hello dear, I got the message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot. However, this will have extra costs as we have to change the names on the contract. Please come by my office tomorrow so we can sign the new contract. Their smiles felt like knives behind my back. My parents hadn't contacted me since the blow-up with my father-in-law, but my older brother called. He'd gotten a weird story from Mom and Dad. Apparently, I'd offered to give up the venue, then humiliated my sister. I told him what really happened. He believed me instantly. We talked about our parents' behavior. He confessed that moving away was partly due to their favoritism. He said Mom was mad at me for betraying the family. We called my wedding planner. She was horrified. She'd never spoken to my mother since we booked the venue. She assured me that even if they called, I had to be present to make any changes. We alerted everyone working our wedding. They offered to hire security at a reduced price. Update 2. The Facebook feud and family fallout. My sister is now waging war on Facebook. Constant passive-aggressive posts, claiming I've made her depressed. I've received a flood of messages from her friends, telling me I'm a bitch for treating her this way. I blocked them all. And my sister, too. But 2 days ago, my sister's best friend egged my car. I called the police. My neighbor, whose hobby is spying on people, identified them. She's a grumpy lady, but lovely once you get to know her. After days of silence, my parents called. They wanted to talk things out. I was wary, but agreed to meet them with my fiancé at our apartment. My mom had been crying. I felt bad for maybe 10 minutes. Turns out, my sister is just acting out. No medical diagnosis, nothing. We started with awkward small talk. Then we got to the venue. My father asked why we canceled the caterers. My fiancé said we didn't want them holding anything over our heads. Dad acted offended. Said he'd never do that. I said, better safe than sorry. My mother called me disrespectful for talking to them that way. I called them disrespectful for everything they'd said and done. We argued about the venue again. My father repeated "it doesn't matter where you get married, but who you're marrying" line. Finally, I snapped. Yes, Dad, exactly. But isn't it weird how that only applies to me? As long as she's marrying him, it doesn't matter where, right? Silence. My father was red as a tomato, gasping for air like a fish out of water. My mother was quietly crying again. Well, I said, I'm waiting for your reasoning. My father slammed his hands on the table. He launched into a rant about family and sacrifices. How a loving family should do everything to make each other happy. I just said, like how you tried to make me happy on my graduation day. You know, when my sister smashed my cake because she wasn't in the limelight. More silence. My mother whispered, why do you hate us so much? I looked at her. I could ask you guys the same thing. Nothing. My parents knew they'd messed up, but they weren't ready to admit it. My mother tried to guilt-trip me. Said my sister was miserable. That she hadn't left the house in days because people were judging her. My father went on a tangent about how my little sister just needed more time and attention because she was the youngest, basically excusing her behavior. I told them I felt hurt, that I now saw their blatant favoritism, that they didn't even try to hide the fact that they loved my sister more. My mother said, that's not true. We love you all the same. I wasn't having it. I pulled out a list I'd written on my phone. Every instance I could remember of them putting my sister before me. Dates, specific situations. It was long. When I finished, my parents were horrified. Beet red. Near tears. They wanted to explain. To tell me I was wrong. I cut them off. This conversation was going nowhere. They either set up family counseling and apologized, or they wouldn't be invited to the wedding. They left. Haven't called since. I wanted to scream, but swallowed my words like bitter medicine. Update 3. The wedding and the aftermath. After our last conversation, my parents doubled down. I was the bad guy, responsible for my sister's depression and her failing relationship. It got so bad I had to block them and change my number. They were contacting me from relatives' phones. A real bummer during a time that should have been special. I was harassed by my sister and her entourage on Facebook and Instagram, so I deleted it all. It was mentally draining, but my husband's family, friends, and my brother helped me through it. I'd basically cut off every family member who gave me crap for keeping my wedding date. My grandmother came to my door a few days before the wedding, begging to be let in. We had a long talk. She ended up apologizing, even though she still didn't see the logic in switching weddings. But she didn't want to pressure me. She wanted to be there for me. We hugged it out. But our relationship isn't back to normal yet. The bachelor party was amazing. We were cooking until dawn. Everything was delicious. My husband made a beautiful 3-layered cake. Wedding day. The morning was relaxing. But then it was time to leave for the ceremony. We were at the venue, taking pictures with my friends, when I saw my sister's car approaching. One of my friends ran to get security. I didn't want another Hulk smash moment at my wedding. She was angry and crying. As soon as she saw me, she started screaming obscenities. Apparently, I'm a filthy bitch who made her fiancé break up with her. She was possessed. At that moment, I couldn't help but feel pity for her. The venue's sprinkler system had been watering the plants. The ground was muddy. My sister bent down to grab mud. She was going to throw it at me, in my dress. My maid of honor sprinted towards her and pushed her. My sister fell on her, but into the flower beds. Security arrived seconds later and removed her. That was it. I had enough ammunition to file a restraining order. I didn't even want to file a police report. I just wanted her to stay away from me. The rest of the day was amazing. I married my best friend, the love of my life, my rock. My brother walked me down the aisle. We all cried at the vows. It was spectacular. Of course, I miss my parents. But it is what it is. The celebration was hilarious. My husband had learned a Taylor Swift choreography with his groomsmen. The speeches could have been from a stand-up club. We left for our honeymoon. When we came back, I decided to look for jobs in a different city. I didn't want to lose my friends, but I needed a clean break. I got a new job at a university in a bigger city. We're in the process of moving. And, the most cliché change of all, I'm pregnant. A classic honeymoon baby. I've only heard about my family through people in town. My sister is still telling everyone that I'm the reason her fiancé broke up with her, that I was trying to dox her. She's moved back in with my parents. Refuses to work. My grandmother told me my parents look exhausted because my sister is behaving like a baby. I guess their parenting is catching up with them. I can only say that I'm really happy right now. It hurts having lost family. But cutting out toxic people is the best thing I could do. Their betrayal was a slow poison in my veins. So, have you ever had to cut off family for your own well-being? What did you do?